place to go, but I don't feel cold. I've been so blind, just lost my mind. But all I have lost, I find. Your face reminds me of these games that memories don't erase. I'll never be the same anymore. I'm on the highest top with no control. And you done. I open my eyes, do you remember me? I carried on through all Yeah, I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece turns to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. Yeah, I'm pale gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must stand, even diamonds fade. When the darkness comes, I'll count up my mistakes. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from a spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against.
Drift away, moving on past all that we had, ashes from the flame, still holding them close, embers glow. I know I'm not so in love. I try to tell myself but never change. Cool, but you pull me right back. Wrong, but it never could last. Cool, but you pull me right back. A little bit more and the feeling's cracked. Oh, cool, but you pull me right back. A little bit, you pull me right back. You pull me right back. You pull me right back. Moving on past all that we had, ashes from the flame, still holding them close, embers glow. I know I'm not so in love. I try to tell myself but never change. Emptiness, something long gone. There's a black hole deep within my chest. I try to let go, get out of the cold. I know I'm not so in love. I try to tell myself but never change. Cool, but you pull me right back. Wrong, but it never
Welcome to Sportsland SUGO. Located in Murata, Japan, it was opened back in 1975 as a test and racing facility complete with kart, motocross, and trails circuit. It's Japan's largest motorsport venue. It has since hosted mainly Japanese events including the Super GT, Super Formula, and the All Japan Road Racing Championship. Although SUGO is most known for Super GT, the track has also hosted a GT4 classes of racing, which demands skillful cornering and careful car handling. The variety in turns and elevation changes puts both driver endurance and car balance to the test, leading intense multi-lap battles. The circuit is a 3.7 kilometer or 2.3 mile long circuit, and is known for its complex layout with challenging corners, elevation changes, and high-speed straights, making it both a technical and high-speed track, testing drivers' skills at every level. Some corners you can expect great racing are from Turn 1. The first corner is a great opportunity for overtaking, especially at the start of the race. When drivers are packed closely together, drivers often try to late brake to gain position on this sharp turn, leading to intense battles right from the get-go. SP corner. This is one of the tightest corners on the circuit and is an ideal overtaking spot. Coming off the fast straight, it's a sharp left-hander that requires hard braking, making it a prime location for drivers to dive to the inside to attempt to pass. The 110R corner, turn 7. While challenging, it's a high-speed bend that offers overtaking chances if a driver can build up enough speed on the straight before it. Skilled drivers often use this corner to surprise their opponents with a pass. And then the last corner, turn 12. The final corner at SUGO, leading onto the main straight, where drivers try to get the best exit speed for overtaking down the front straight into the first corner. This setup often results in exciting finishes and last-minute position changes. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host to round 5 and the final round of the GT4 International Championship. The fight for the championship is on, with the top 5 eligible with double points on the line. However, our main focus will be on the top 3, with Cody Lawrence defending the championship lead against Van Doren and Rees. In a season that interestingly represents the ongoing 2024 Formula 1 World Championship, it started with a driver getting a strong open start to the season, but with BOP now had a start to the fight for the championship. The mid-pack is now allowed into the fight, opened up, and we are now set for the finale of this season. A clean sweep from either Andy Rees or Mike Van Doren can allow them the title. 2 more races left to duke it out in Japan, with fastest lap points along with the pole position points still up for grabs. Every point will matter come the end of this series. This is the final round, the Japanese Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the final destination. This is the final round of the GT4 International Championship. What a story it has been thus far. 5 rounds later now, and we come to the very end of it, where we are going to see a championship fight come down to the very end here at SUGO for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's gonna be Cody Lawrence, Andy Rees, and Mike Van Doren going for the title. And what a championship fight we have for you here today. As the drivers are getting warmed up now, this final 5 minutes of practice, we welcome you out here to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. This is the final race before we get into the playoffs. So much to talk about as we get into today's event. Time may have switched an hour early depending on where you live, but CMRSC stays put with the time as we go racing at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for race 1 of 2 for this championship, this final showdown here today. And it's these two. It's all down to the two competitors we watch on our screens here. It's the trees block our vision here. Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn. It's all about who can sweep. Cody Lawrence, it's about a 50-50 shot. We're gonna see him on the grid here today. Could potentially be our first ever Drivers' Championship that unfortunately does not make it out. That would be a huge shame if that does happen to be the case, but he is fighting for that final Race of Champions spot against Jaden Harrison. And with both drivers not here at the moment, well, it could be an easy ROC spot for them. So we will have to find out very shortly as trees continue to block us here. Trying to get the best camera angles out here for you guys in Chatland. But welcome to the stream. If you're now tuning in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 650 subscribers as we now get in onto the action here today. But right now, between Van Dorn and Andy Rees, they are not the fastest. The fastest driver goes to the BMW of Mads Krogsgaard, so he's going to look for his first win. Still hunting it down. He's gotten podiums under his belt, but that race win still looming on his head. So close back at Gem West in the Caribbean Motor Racing Championship and able to get it done, but he was able to get his first podium. Marlon Young also setting up the timing sheets on fire here. He is in the Toyota Supra as Andy Rees now puts in a time 0.2, just slower than his championship rival. It's going to be McLaren versus Mercedes here, coming to the very ending of this championship. And oopsie daisy, I don't know why my camera's frozen there. That was a funny angle I had there. Let's see if we can fix that. Oh, I do see why exactly that did happen, but nonetheless, though, what a championship fight we have for you guys here today as we're trying to get our camera reactivated here. There we go. No more of that weird face anyways, but welcome to the finale here today as we were just getting ready to get going and racing here. So, what a championship it's been so far. And after today's event, we're going to get into Race of Champions. It's the playoff season. Huge announcement, trailers, posters, all the sorts. Cannot wait to get that announcement underway a little bit differently of how ROC 2024 is going to go down, 2022, 2023. We're all different championships compared to what we are going to see this year. So stick around to the very end of the stream and you guys are going to be able to see what that's going to be like there. Cannot wait to get that one underway. But as we have the drivers now putting in their last bit of laps here, this is the final practice session of the year. As Marlon Young goes up into P2, 25.624, with Van Dorn and Andy Rees both taking BOP penalties throughout the season of just their points. Well, it's leading them down where they're going to have to fight in the mid-pack. 7 points between them. And while Cody Lawrence is at the top of the timing sheets with 101 points, top of the points table, I should say, these two drivers are going to have to, A, work hard to, well, get past them in the championship. But it's not impossible at all. 1 minute left to go here. With 55 seconds left to go. Look at the bottom of your screen. 26% restrictor plate. 119 kilograms of weight. Andy Rees with 22 restrictor plate and 68 kilograms of weight. in that Mercedes. So both drivers are going to be working super hard here today, here at SUGO. A tire eater, that's for sure, especially around the final corner. It's really going to be a test of who is going to take the most consistent points. There is Van Dorn with a 25.378, putting his last bit of laps here before we get into practice. And that's what the drivers are going to have to do. They're just going to have one opportunity to put in that fastest lap here. 15 minutes of qualifying going to come your way very, very soon. Stick around as practice for the final time in the regular season now comes to an end here. And that is it. So we have one more qualifying session before we get into the playoffs. Young into the pits. Van Dorn still on track, as well as Danny Nasir. There he is. Webster into the pits. And Anderson Baiano currently sitting in P7, putting in his first lap time there for 29.025 as practice comes now to a complete finish. So who's going to take the pole position? That's the big question, and that is 2 points to your name. Who's it going to be? Will Mads steal the glory for himself? He's doing a 24.9 right now. The 2 points can go right to him. And as for this championship fight, that's 2 points less of what Andy Rees and Van Dorn could gain. And that is huge. That is very huge. As we look at Danny Nasir, that's coming around the final corner onto the front straight. We're in our overtime now, waiting for the drivers to finish up, head into the pits, and that is going to do it. So, folks, it's now time to get ready for qualifying. As the drivers sit in the chat, not hearing too much chatter in there. But 7 drivers are going to enter the fray here in this final shot at glory. So this is going to be a very interesting battle here with 1 minute left to go. We are here at SUGO. Unfortunately, the CMRSC banners are not out here this time. There was a lot of issues putting up some banners here around the track, so it was left alone. So we're just gonna stick with the default
My game
skin.
crashed again there, so hopefully it doesn't do that in the race.
You got loads of time to restart.
Yeah, I'm back in already.
So interestingly, Van Dorn having issues. Remember, thinking back to Portland, he did have issues, connectivity issues. Came to a stop. That's the whole reason why he's potentially not even leading this championship here. But with 20 seconds left to go. Music comes off. And qualifying about to get underway for the final time in this championship. Don't go away as we get the action started right about now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final qualifying session of the 2024 Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club GT4 International Championship. 2 points on the line for these drivers here today. Who is going to take the final pole position? The championship very much on the line between Mike Van Dorn and Andy Rees. Who is going to take the title here today? Well, we start off with qualifying as the drivers warm up their tires for the final qualifying session. 15 minutes of qualifying to go here today. We are live here at Sportsland SUGO for the Japanese Grand Prix. And so this is going to be a crucial qualifying. Every point comes down to it. We have seen championships decided this year already from a 3-way tie. And it all comes down to stats. And as we get Qualifying underway. Our first driver to start qualifying here is going to be the Guyanese of Marlon Young. Let's take a look at his lap here as he starts it off heading into turn 1. Hard on the brakes now, heading into the double right-hander. Little bit of curve on the outside. Then you want to just mash the throttle as long as you can throughout this section. You can see and hear Marlon Young lifting as he goes through this section here. A little bit wide now. And as we get into the quick chicane here, you don't want to touch the curbs that are rising. Use all the exit now, heading into the next double right-hander. A bit onto the brakes, not shifting gears. And then this one is a bit more sharp as we get onto the straight. Don't want to go too much out the track because there is track limits. Now on the back straight, Marlon Young accelerating out. Very quick, almost 200, guaranteed 200 kilometers now down the back straight. Now hard onto the brakes. Late apex around here, but there are multiple ways to take the line around that part of the track. And then we get into the first of 2 double left-handers. First one using all the curb on the outside. Second one right the curb on the inside. Use a lot more curb onto the outside. And then it's the final corner, 110R. And it's all about playing with the throttle. The tires get really hot around here, so you have to baby the tires throughout the lap so they can be set up for that final corner. And as now Marlon Young heads on to the front straight, he's gonna set the first time on the board, and that time is going to be a 2:15. So unfortunately not able to get it done. His lap is not valid, so Krogsgaard's gonna take it. 125.202. Andy Rees comes across the line with a 125.578. Next across the line, Martin Webster with a 126.034. And we're watching Van Doren now as he comes around the final corner. He's Mads there in the second sector. So now, as he races onto the front straight, crucial 2 points towards his name in this championship fight as we have 11 minutes to go. Here comes the Flying Dutchman across the line now. It's not improvement, it's a second off. He goes down, stays 4th position. And Mads is improving 2/10 in the first sector. Krogsgaard flying around this lap here. And what are we gonna see from him here now? Mads, the Danish driver, one left-hander here, 4/10 up in the middle sector. Now 1 corner to go. How much did you care for your tires throughout the lap? That's gonna depend here. Look at the top left of your screen. That's the amount of steering input he's putting in. Here comes the Danish driver of Mads now as he gets onto the front straight. Shallow line as he gets onto it. And now in the Beamer, racing to the line. This is going to be an improvement. It is. It's a 124.598. He's gonna hold pole position to himself. And he's not going to let anyone have an opportunity with the weight, with the BOP on the line here. This allows those light drivers to have opportunities they were normally not able to have before. And 8/10 down is Andy Rees as we're on board with the likes of Marlon Young. But 3 purple sectors for Mads there as Van Doren will put up his time, 25.224. So now continuing to improve. Oh, it's oversteer, and he's gonna lose the car.
This thing is giving no one's in trouble, man.
Is it still giving that handshake?
Yeah, at first I couldn't when I was going to go in qualifying, it wasn't
So, bit of technical difficulties for Danny Nasir in the pit lane as it stands right now, trying to get out onto the track, but he's having some issues in the pit lane. But as we continue on qualifying here, currently the times are Mads with a 1:24.59.8, followed by Mike Van Dorn with a 1:25.224. And as we watch him now, it doesn't look like he's on a flyer here. No, he's not. Andy Rees, as we're on board with him, he is doing a 1:25.423, so just behind in the second row, behind his championship rival, Marlon Young, as he's on the front straight now. He's doing a time of a 1:25.716. Martin Webster in the Supra, currently doing a 1:26.034. And Anderson Baiano in the other BMW on the other side of the leaderboard, currently with a 1:27.857. So as qualifying continues now, we're just about reaching our halfway point into this session here. And still, loads of time to improve. And check this out, Van Dorn has found that time. 3/10, in fact, in the first sector. If he can keep this up, that could easily be pole position. He was saying earlier with us that the second sector is really just a long straight, and while he feels he's very quick in the corners, it's the straights that he loses time, and that's proof right there. Almost a 10th slower in the second sector when he gains so much, but there is still 110R to come around now, so we're gonna watch Van Dorn here as he takes it wide on corner exit, trying to minimize steering. Now onto the front straight and ready to come across the line. Here comes Mike Van Dorn. Was it enough to improve on this time? It's a 1:25 dead. He is 5/10 off here in the third sector, and that is going to do it for that lap. With Andy Rees now, we're going to watch him at first sector. He's almost a second off, but here comes Mads now as he comes on to the front straight in the BMW now for this final qualifying session. Can Mads put it on pole? Well, he can improve, that's for sure. It's a 1:24.503. That could very well be pole come the end of this qualifying session out here today. That's very big for the Danish driver in the BMW. Can he secure his first pole position out here? That'll be very, very big for the Danish driver. Of course, one other man in here in the form of Andy Rees trying to hunt down this championship, but as it stands right now, he is not finding any improvements as he comes across the line there. Danny, try to re-download the mods. It's about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. It's probably your best bet.
No, I'm getting something else now. I fixed the Wi-Fi and then the steering stopped working.
Okay.
And it's nothing to do with the wire thing. It just said, I don't know why. I just replugged it back in and then it started up. So I'm booting it in.
So Danny Nasir continuing to have issues in pit, so it doesn't look like he'll be able to make qualifying unless he can get one lap in. As we watch Mads here coming around 110R, he's got a lot of improvements through the last few laps, so that was very good on his part. So now it's all about extending this advantage. He's currently sitting at a 1:24.503. He's matched his time here in the first two sectors as he comes across the line now. He's a 1:24.589, so still dancing around with that personal best. We're going to watch Van Dorn around here as he enters through the chicane and getting up to the first sector. 38.6 to beat, and we're gonna see if this McLaren really does have the legs around here as he goes to the right hand. Look how much speed he takes and so confident on the wheel there. And now here we go, time is running against him. Oh, very wide. That's gonna be a cut track. He's a 10th off, but that is going to ruin his lap time going off the circuit. That's a bit of a shame. He found time there too. So confidently faster than Mads in the first sector, but it's the remaining bit of the lap that gives him issue. So as we continue watching qualifying now, we watch Andy Rees here as he comes around turn 2. And we're going to stay with him here unless we can see improvements from other drivers on track, which Mads does go green in the first sector. So personal improvement does not improve in the second sector. Nonetheless, though, there is Van Dorn as he comes across the line. 24.5 to beat, and he's 0.6 down. Next up, Mads as he comes around the final corner.
Sorry, connection issue again. I gotta come out and go back in now.
Yep. And here comes Mads across the line. Is it improvement? Yes, it is. It's a 1:24.479. And that pole lap time is just getting further and further away. 0.5 the difference. Andy Rees, 2.25 of a second off there. 0.2. That is insane. Van Dorn into the pits, making final adjustments to the car. And Andy Rees back out here now. Let's see what he can do with Mads into the pits. Maybe he feels like that was the best time he could do. And Andy Rees still struggling. 1:25.323. And what is going on in the head of Andy Rees out here? What is he thinking about? Can he find any improvement around here? Mads may have found the perfect lap time.
No, on track, I think.
Cool. Andy Rees. We're going to watch his first sector. This could really tell us the story around here. It looked pretty good so far. You can see he doesn't push as much into this section as Van Dorn does. But he does keep a clean little bit of oversteer there on the straight. But 0.4 off. So that Mercedes is struggling through the first sector. The McLarens really got that one down. That is the prime position. That's the prime spot for sure. 1000%. Andy Rees now, as it continues this lap, well, he may be down in the first sector. Still a chance to get back at Van Dorn. Remember, he needs to gain just a little bit of time. That gap is not that far. It's 0.3 of a second. If he can find any sort of improvement in that Mercedes to put him up in the front row, that will be huge, considering he is 7 points off of Van Dorn coming into this championship finale. Every point is going to matter, and he's a second off there in the final sector there and on the lap itself. So there is Marlon Young, I will say. Martin Webster sitting in the pits, currently sitting P5. Feels like that's the best he could do. Marlon Young abandoning his lap time, and Van Dorn warming up his tires to try to go for one final run. Danny Nasir, though, finally able to get that car fixed up, and like we said early on, he's gonna have one chance at this one here. So one lap to do it around SUGO. This is a make or break. Start in last, or potentially with the other McLaren. I mean, there's a huge chance he could bump up in the top 5. First corner around there. We got to check that for track limits. Did he exceed it? The McLaren's so good in the first couple sectors here. He's in second gear. It's really just one opportunity that Danny Nasir has. Into the double right-handers. This is where we're going to find out. Oh, it's a little bit wide, however. Finally getting some laps under his belt. And he's already a second, almost 2 seconds off. And that's only going to put him around where Anderson Baiano is. And his checkered flag now comes out. There we see Van Dorn. So much aggression over the curb. Remember, at the Nurburgring, he was very aggressive through the curbs. And that's what really allowed him. And too much pushing. Track limits already put him off his game there, and he's going to be into the pits, meeting Danny Nasir with the last driver. He's the last person on track, so it's all down to see what he can do. Did he exceed track limits on that lap? Maybe or maybe not. We'll find out, because here comes Danny Nasir. Is it enough to get into the top 5 for the start of this race? Flying on the front straight now. We're going to see under the Dunlop sign across the line. No improvement. It's a 27.5 on his first and only lap in qualifying. But Mads is going to take pole position in the final round of the championship. 2 bonus points will go to his name as we head in to the final race. But what a lap time. It was a 24.479. It's pole position by a long margin, almost 5.5 tenths quicker than the competition. All right, qualifying complete there for the last time in this championship. Top 3, that's Mads, Mike, and Andy. So only thing you guys have to know about today, it's going to be double points. So everything is worth ×2. So that qualifying there, it's going to be 2 points for pole position. Remember, fastest lap is also going to be worth 2 points. And yeah, points are going to be multiplied by ×2. So because normally races are 15 points, it'll be extended now to 30 points. So big chance that points here today. So best of luck to you guys. Final round. It's been a great journey, a great championship fight. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to see Cody Lawrence here today. But regardless, hope we have a great championship fight. Van Dorn, Andy, you guys are going to be duking it out. Marlon, you're also in that championship fight as being in the top 5. So best of luck to you guys. 47 seconds before we get onto the grid. I've also extended the grid time, so it should be just over 2 minutes. So if you guys have to restart your systems, you're free to do so. You got a bit of time once we get onto the grid.
Andy, it continues.
So Marlon Young, Andy Ruiz are going to have their little mind games with each other. But that's going to do it for qualifying, and we will see you for the race. Thank you so much for tuning into the final qualifying session of the preseason. All right, drivers are going to get onto the grid now. This is it. This is the final round of the championship. Who is going to win race 1 of 2 here today? Drivers are going to get onto the grid now. This is going to be a very exciting round of racing coming your way as we wait for the drivers to get onto the grid. There they are, 2 minutes before we get this one underway. Folks, what a journey it's been. We have 2 races to do it here at SUGO as we get this one underway. Round 5, it's the Japanese Grand Prix. It's SUGO, and it's the finale, and it is next. And this is it. One more race to do it in this championship. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club for this finale. With 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining before we get on here for this final showdown here. Who is it going to be taking the title? Let's take a look at that grid really quickly before we get underway. Ooh, as we have a little bit of issues on our screen there. But it's going to be Mads on pole, followed by Mike Van Dorn. Then it's Andy Ruiz, Marlon Young, Martin Webster, Anderson Baiano, Danny Nasir. That's going to be your top drivers in it for glory. This is such an important race. Double points on the line. So we're gonna try to get the best of angles here. Unfortunately, our drone camera has stopped working here, so we're gonna get this one underway now as the drivers ramp up their engines. Here we go. For the final time in this championship, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we go racing here at Sportsland SUGO. And it's a great start from Andy Ruiz as he's on the outside. Van Dorn is going to try to cover off Mads, and he's going to shoot up straight to the lead. What a move, but it's contact. 2 of the drivers in the lead are off. Martin Webster and Andy Ruiz, all of them. Huge incident off the track. Heavy collision here on the start. Van Dorn leads it. And was that enough? Just double checking. Was that over half the cars in that incident?
Is anything wrong? You need to restart?
Even though I'm at first, I would not mind.
So yeah, we're gonna reset. That was over half the field collected there. So we're gonna reset this one back.
Good, because I don't have game sound.
Yeah, my bad, man. Sorry.
Ah, it's okay.
So a bit of a hiccup from the drivers there.
I just saw some part of the tracks I haven't seen before.
Yeah, you went airborne there for a moment.
Yeah.
So if you guys got to restart, do your thing. Setups are going to be reset, so just make sure your tire pressures and pit stop strategies are all good.
I just
Efter
want
når du
game
starter, så
sound.
skal du rip den i...
So 48K, yeah. So not many drivers here,
good.
but
You're
we still have a
almost putting
good
speed on there, so
championship fight on our hands
Yeah.
here today.
Alright, let's try again.
That's right, and good luck, guys.
Yeah, just double check those pit stop strategies. Make sure everything's all set and good to go for you guys. But,
Hey, I have engine sound.
oh, perfect then.
Let's go.
You're not driving a Tesla anymore.
Yep.
I'm gone.
All right.
It does help to know when to shift up and down, you know.
So, a bit of a hiccup, but we're going to restart this one and get back to it, folks. Here we go. Japanese Grand Prix coming up next. And this is it. Here we go. The final race of the championship. 2 races here in this final round. Japanese Grand Prix. 40 seconds left to go. Let's take a look at that grid standings. So it's Mads on pole position, followed by Mike Van Doren, Andy Rees, Marlon Young, Martin Webster, Anderson Baiano, and Danny Nasir. 25 seconds left to go. What a journey it's been throughout this GT4 International Championship. It all comes down to this double points on the line. Huge to see who will take the top of the timing sheets. 10 seconds here as we get this one underway. Here we go, waiting for the lights, and there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5
I'm not
lights.
seeing the lights on my screen.
And we go racing. Danny Nasir already having an issue on the start there, and we get underway now. Mads gets a great start there, followed by Van Doren. Andy Rees there in the background, already getting overtaken there by, is that Marlon Young? They're side by side. They play mind games and qualifying, and they're already getting this battle underway. But Mads there as they go side by side. Is Mads gonna push Van Doren off the racing track? Almost, but not quite. So we look behind Mads here as they get through the forest section now. And Andy was able to get through on Marlon Young, but a mistake from Van Doren in the McLaren is going to allow the Mercedes of Andy Rees to follow right through. It's a Danish 1-2. Exactly what they want for this championship as well, especially for the constructors. That's what's most important to them. But Van Doren is not going to come out without a fight. And this is going to be a good fight towards the very end. There they go. The BMW is going to try to check out as soon as possible. And these two are going to have a hellacious battle as they get onto the front straight now. SUGO on the front straight, so iconic at this part of the track. And you're going to see why in the slipstream. Is he going to pull to the inside or outside? Pick your poison, Van Doren goes to the outside. The double right-hander coming up next. And he's got the preferred line. But can Van Doren swoop it around the outside? Andy fighting with all his might. 2 championship contenders. You're looking on your screens. Van Doren's going to have the inside line. Looks like it was a bit of contact. They stay side by side onto the inside now. Here comes Van Doren. Does he have enough to hold on to the move? Still going side by side. Van Doren takes it. What a move from the Dutchman to hold off this position. Andy Rees in the Mercedes, not quite done with this fight yet. Going to the inside here. It looks like has he have a better run there than Van Doren. Slipstream enabled. Van Doren so strong in the middle sector. First sector, that McLaren very dominant. Middle and the last sector, it's kind of an even game. Between this front pack here. Don't forget, Marlon Young very much in this fight. Now, remember, here's the thing with SUGO. It's this corner up here. How much do you save your tires to be able to go up 110R? It's a tire eater. And looks like Andy Reese has got a bit of a better line than Van Dorn. And he's going to need all the slipstream in the world to gain. Van Dorn, as he's in P2. Matt's going to take the fastest lap at 125.193. Bonus 2 points if he can get that and hold that pole position. Sliding there on corner exit for Andy Reese. Marlon Young's going to follow the exact same line. That's something that you don't want to do. You got to break that curse there. You can't be following what the driver does up ahead, because if he goes up track, you can't be following him off. So losing a little bit of time. Meanwhile, though, Van Dorn not able to escape as far as he could. Remember, the track limit's very, very strict around here, so they're gonna have to play nice to not get a time penalty. As they head onto the back straight, Van Dorn is gonna use a lot of that track extension. But they're gonna have to keep very much in mind of the track limits. That's gonna be very important. Heading out Sector 2, heading into Sector 3. And we are just 21 minutes left to go of this race. So much action to go underway as we see Andy losing just a tad bit of time there. And now as we head into 110R once more and then transitioning into the final corner, looks like the McLaren is able to just about get away for the time being. However, the gap is still 6/10. There you see them passing under the Dunlop Bridge as Mads is going to put another fastest lap of a 124.720. Here comes Andy. Now remember, he made a huge slide in the last lap, and he looks a lot more cleaner. Meanwhile, oh, Marlon Young has made a couple mistakes on this lap, and the Brazilian of Anderson Baiano is going to go side by side with the Toyota Supra. He's going to have to go the long way around here, but he's going to get the move done before they even get to the apex. Anderson Baiano moves up to P4. Not the best qualifying from him, but he's able to make it up on track. Gonna go nose to tail throughout this section here. Behind him is Danny Nasir. Martin Wetzer, 12 seconds off. He had made a mistake early on. And the BMW gonna try to hold off, but there you can see the weight at the bottom. 4 restrictor blade, 12 kilograms of weight. But Marlon Young very much gonna be on the attack around here. Gonna try to close up. Now, this right here, top 5 gets flipped on its head for the reverse grid. So that means if you finish in 5th, you start on provisional pole. But at this point, points are on the line. It's very crucial to get as much points as possible as we head into this grand finale here. And it was a good run from Marlon Young on corner exit. Meanwhile, we look back up to the front 2 here, P2 and P3. And then you can see Andy trying to make his car as wide as possible. Van Dorn loves Sportsland SUGO. He's a previous winner here in the GT3 Challenge Championship just 2 years ago. Martin Webster gonna enter pits early on, gonna get an early stop under his belt. Remember, last time he was able to make that one work. It was back at the DTM World Championships at the Nurburgring. He was able to make that one work perfectly. But as the leader checks out, and Baiano starting to, Andy Rees and Van Dorn building a gap between each other. Jaden Harrison now entering into the session. That's interesting. He is a little bit late, but he can still jump in. He's loading into the session, and he can take some sweet points off of the drivers. So Jaden Harrison able to wheel his car in, probably had a late flight to get here in Japan. But meanwhile, what a fight this has been. We're gonna take a look at our audio levels, making sure everything is good on the stream side. At the Nurburgring, he was able to make that one work. So perfect, everything is good to go. And take a look at that. 125.4 as you see Andy diving down the inside. It was so aggressive. Lands both drivers off the track, and Van Dorn's gonna get right back through. He would have had to give him the position back anyways, but Andy Rees threw a massive dive On the inside of Van Dorn, you heard the radio there. Jesus. Just caught him.
Ambitious.
Ambitious indeed, but this is a championship fight coming down to the wire. My goodness, what a fight it has been for these two drivers here. This is incredible. Incredible stuff from these drivers. Meanwhile, there we also see this battle for 4th place. The Toyota Supra against the BMW M4. Danny Nasir in the McLaren. Just a little far behind, not too far. But there you see how aggressive, more comfortable Marlon Young is being on the curbs around the circuit, able to put the gap down to 3/10. Closing and gaining. He's trying to get the move done, but as they get onto the straight now, it's unable to. We look back on our front pack here. Andy Reid's unable to make any sort of a move coming up this straight here. And Marlon Young is a little too far back to make a move on the front of the BMW there. But there you see the Mercedes still working hard, trying to close it up. Into the lefts and rights. Keeping it tidied up there. We're about to hit the 15-minute mark of this race in 44 seconds. And we would have already had 10 minutes of racing already gone. Too much curb, though, from Andy Reid. That's going to cost some time. Onto the back straight once more. 5 of you guys watching the stream, thank you so much for tuning in. We do have Jaden Harrison now entering the fray. He is racing on track at the moment. There you see him in the other Mercedes in this championship fight, but currently sitting 8th position. So reverse grid, that's going to be really where he's going to be able to gain some points here. Double points on the line. Trouble for Danny, though. Lands him off the racing circuit. Gets overtaken by Webster, but not for a position. Webster is down a lap. Mats, 1:24.612. So great racing from these drivers here. Incredible action all around the circuit here. SUGO never disappoints, that's for sure. And take a look at this now. Marlon Young has started to close the gap up between himself and Anderson Baeno. Danny Nasir, Jaden Harrison entering in the pits for their mandatory pit stops. Meanwhile, back on board with the Toyota Supra. Into the chicane. Meanwhile, Andy's losing a bit of touch. A second now between them. Meanwhile, Marlon Young starting to push harder throughout this section of the circuit. On the back straight now. But remember, tires are going to eat these drivers up. And I think we're seeing an example of what happens when you are in the dirty air permanently. And the Mercedes is really suffering. Look how wide it goes into the gravel. Cannot lose any opportunity of losing Van Dorn. What do you do if you're Andy Reid? You come in for an early pit stop, try to attempt the undercut. We watch him now. Does he attempt a pit stop? Maybe. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Slamming onto the brakes. In for his pit stop. Here comes Andy Reid with an undercut strategy to see if he can gain on the front pack. And a quick pit stop for him. These guys are on F1.
I guess he didn't put tire change.
Oh no!
Woo. 2-stop bird.
If you were still able to enter the pits, you could set your strategy and reverse into your box again. Yeah, it was most likely from the restart. So, that is huge. Andy Reid needs to make another pit stop.
Went black for a second.
And Van Dorn also having issues of his own. So 2 of our championship contenders both having issues. Andy Reid needs to make another pit stop for tires. That is huge. Will it take him out the championship fight if he finishes third behind his opponent here, mainly Van Dorn? That'll really be the test. But as for Andy Rees, that is huge. He's overtaken Martin Webster. And Van Dorn is going to enter the pits now as he got tires ready to go for his pit crew. That is crazy. So, the tires were not ready. We're going to find out, is Van Dorn good? Looks like he is. And take a look at behind us there. Marlon Young, Anderson Baiano are going to have a fight on their hands. Coming in for their stop. Oh, it's Anderson having trouble, having to reverse back into his pit box. It looks like he's got it going now. Was he able to get his pit stop fully done? Marlon Young also into the pits. Pit lane is very busy out here. And Van Dorn. Oh, and he's had trouble there. Pit exit. Anderson Baiano having trouble. And then Van Dorn having to avoid there. Just about. And here comes Andy Rees now coming out. Completed his pit stop. But take a look at this. Anderson Baiano, as he sits in P7, interestingly. That's curious. I do not know what happened there. Meanwhile, our championship leader into the pits. I believe it may have just put Baiano a lap down, but we'll find out in a couple moments. But because of that spin, I wonder if it just dropped him a lap. But he touched the grass onto the outside. It did not help his case. Meanwhile, Van Dorn's pushing with fresh tires now, and Mads is going to come out to a fresh track. Not going to have to worry. And Martin Webster's coming in once again for another pit stop. So he's going to come in, make his pit stop here. Marlon Young in the podium here. Remember something. Marlon Young, Jaden Harrison, Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn, all within a championship fight. And as it stands right now, while Van Dorn is winning, he's currently at 79 points. Oh, as Marlon Young goes deep. And Anderson Baiano coming in once again. So it doesn't look like he was able to get his pit stop complete. He had to come around again. But Van Dorn, 79 points. Andy Rees with 70. Jaden with 55. Marlon with 45. And so, now it comes the point of no return. After you make your pit stops, and you're by yourself, it's really all about keeping consistent. Andy Rees has about 6.7 seconds to catch up to Marlon Young in about 9 minutes time. So this is your battle that's gonna have to commence here, and we're gonna find out who is the quicker out the two. Is Andy even able to catch up to the Toyota Supra to recover this race? That's the big question here. Remember, this championship fight far from over. Remember, second race, if Van Dorn doesn't finish well, finishes poorly in race 2, well, we'll find out. Van Dorn across the line with a 125.199. And we're going to watch now. Here we go. So here comes Marlon Young across the line, and that's going to be a 128. So 3 seconds off, and Andy Rees now going to come across with a 125.2. So, game on. It's going to be Andy Rees against Marlon Young once again. Round up the tapes, because our most viral moment of last week's race was the final battle between Andy Rees and Marlon Young for the podium, and it's about to happen again. This time the roles are reversed. It's now Marlon Young has turned in to the hunted, and we're gonna see what the Mercedes can do at the Nurburgring. Andy was not able to get it done. Time was too late for him. But this time, he's making some great progress. Look at the gap already closing up. 5 seconds on the mark. so crucial to see what transpires. And there we watch Marlon Young. Who's the lighter car? It's Marlon. Marlon in the Toyota Supra. He's in 5th in the Drivers' Championship. As we have this race continue to flourish, we're going to have our active calculations. And we're going to figure out what the championship is going to look like come the end of today's round. And Andy Rees' personal best, and the gap has gone down a second. It was at 5 seconds from the back straight. Now on the front straight, it's 4 seconds. So much to go through here as we continue this race. And we're going to see who is going to take the top of this battle between Marlon Young and Andy Rees. And take a look at that. Gap is reduced down to 2.6. 6 minutes left to go and 1 extra lap to do it here at SUGO for the first race of 2. Oh, so crucial to get it right. And Andy Rees in the Mercedes is flying out here. A little bit of curb there. Across the line now, Marlon Young is going to put a time down of a 1:27.5. Andy with a 25.3. As it stands, it's clear as day. Then he's going to get past him. The chance is when. But at the same time, it's one thing to catch up, it's another thing to pass. And we saw the battle that Marlon is willing to put up, the defense he's willing to do. We look at the rear camera of Marlon Young. A little bit wide there on the first right-hander. Into the second. Looks very clean. A little bit wide there. Oh, but lifts. Oh, and he's got him cut through. He's got a drive-through for cutting the track. And
That's sad.
that is huge. That is taking too much of an advantage. Marlon tried to slow down. It wasn't enough. Mads is going to take the fastest lap. Andy Rees is going to get the position no matter what. That is huge. That's what I was saying. Taking too much of the advantage that you get for the cut warning. Marlon Young's dream of a podium is gone just like that. So Marlon, on your screen, it'll let you know how many laps you got left to take it.
It should be 3 laps.
Meanwhile, I think Marlon Young realizes if my race is over, I'm going to make this the best opportunity I can. Hold up Andy. What if Andy makes a mistake on track? Gets too aggressive, heads into the gravel, slows his car down too much to the point where he can come back around. Well, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. That is it. So, and you heard the groan from Van Dorn. He realizes that's my championship rival. Hold him up as much as you can. But unfortunately, that is over. Into the heavy braking zone now and exiting out. 3 minutes left to go. That just stands right now. Danny Nasir does have that provisional pole for race 2. However, Marlon Young, if he pits now and gets behind Danny Nasir, he'll easily be able to take reverse grid pole. So if I was Marlon, I'd gladly just pit now, get this penalty done because you got it before you get disqualified. And hey, I believe he should be able to come out behind Danny Nasir. If not, I'd let Danny through. take the pole position, let Andy and Van Dorn and Mads fight it all out while I book it into the sunset. It's a painful experience though for Marlon Young, but here comes the McLaren, so it is still going to be a race on the exit of here. Marlon Young's going to get the loud pedal on here. Marlon Young has made his drive-through complete. And Danny Nasir, has he caught up in time? He's going to come around the corner. He's going to see Marlon Young just ahead of him. So Danny now has 2 minutes to chase down Marlon Young. Once again being hunted. First by the Mercedes, now by a McLaren. 2.6 the gap. But now with a fresh new set of cut tracks, Marlon can afford to push the car a lot more wider than he could. Oh, and I think he has made a mistake. Oh my goodness, he has! Hard into the wall is Marlon Young. He's got the car going once more. Take a look at behind him though. Remember, he's still in a fight for position. Does not want to lose top 5. But that's a huge hit on the wall. Is there damage onto the steering? Maybe heavy front impact. We're gonna take a look. How much damage did he receive there? So it looks pretty heavy there on the front. So he's gonna be very slow around here. And here we see also Jaden Harrison, Anderson Piano behind him. Meanwhile though, while Marlon's gonna have reverse grid, he's not gonna be able to score maximum points with his championship rival soaring ahead of him. That's the last thing that he needed. He's not a lap down, so he's able to stay ahead if he chooses to. That is absolutely insane. As the trees block our way here, there we see Jaden Harrison. Fresh car. He's 2 laps down, actually. He was 4 laps down early on, but as we head on to the final 2 laps to go of this race, we're going to have a close eye on Jaden Harrison. Actually, these 3 drivers, because they've really made an impact together. Marlon's going to have a bit of fun with them because both of them know they're not really fighting for anything. Ooh, but a little bit into the grass there's Jaden Harrison, so Jaden's going to have to a little bit of training for himself. Remember, he's a multi-time race winner in this championship. Trying to go around the outside, cannot get it done. He's free to pass Marlon Young if he believes he can get the job done, and he's quicker. So, as it stands right now, as Jaden Harrison's going to let through the BMW. I don't know if he thinks that they are in for a fight for the points. But nonetheless, well, Danny Nasir ahead up the road, 6.8 seconds, and what, now going to be the final lap of the race. Yeah, it's going to be next to impossible. But the final lap is out now. 1 to go for the leader. What a fight this has been. And the championship still undecided. So, very big now. Final lap, though, for these drivers here. Marlon Young, if he stays in 5th position, he will be granted reverse grid pole for the final race of this championship. Let's take a look down our order. There is Mads Krogsgaard on course to get his first race win in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and what a journey it has been for him. Van Dorn's is going to finish in 2nd position. The way it stands, he should be leading the championship. Andy Reese is going to finish 1 place behind him, but a lot of work to do coming into the next race. Danny Nasir, P4, Marlon, P5, but it's this man, Mads Krogsgaard. What a journey it has been for this man here. So many ups and downs in his career, but nonetheless, Mads is gonna come around the final corner here onto the front straight. Add another name to the list because Mads is a race winner here at Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. He is winning race 1 of 2. What a journey it has been. Mads, what a win. As for this man, Mike Van Doorn is gonna pop the champagne bottles maybe a little bit early. He's more than allowed to do so because as it stands, he leads the championship by 2 points going into the finale. Andy Rees is gonna come around the final couple of corners. And is Andy running out of fuel? He might be. And oh no, he does have a gap this time to Danny Nasir, but remember, you gotta look back at Sandown, where Andy did run out of fuel with his battle. He's coasting desperately to the line. Danny Nasir, as he's coming around 110R, it's gonna be a drag race. Can he come across the line though? Nonetheless, yes he is. He is gonna finish 3rd position. Danny Nasir, if he did not make that mistake early on, could have got on the podium. But Andy ran out of fuel at the line. That's your top 3. But Mads takes the race win.
Marlon, I think you wanted pool, eh?
Pardon me?
I think you wanted pool, eh?
No, I tried really bad.
Well, what a fight that was. All right, that was
I thought you made a mistake on 4.
No, I lost control.
great racing there. Let's go congratulate our top 3 before we get into the final race. Starting off with our man in 3rd position, Andy Rees. It was a up and down roller coaster for you here today, but you finished this race now in 3rd position. Andy, do we have you on the mic?
Yes.
So take us through that one. That may have been a bit of a painful one to go through. Take us through it nonetheless. How was that one?
Well, yeah, I haven't. So I made the mistake of not having a tire change in my pit, apparently, which is not something that's happened before. It had to happen at some point, I guess. But yeah, for the starting laps, you know, racing around with Mike for the start was good. Couldn't quite get up to him most of the time, but yeah, then I decided to go for some kind of undercut or something, and yeah, that's where the pit happened without the tire change. So then I went for another pit.
We'll let you know what we missed after the interviews there tomorrow.
Although I could have just reversed in my box, but I didn't know that. Now I know. So yeah.
Well, now heading into the final race. It's all about scoring maximum points. So where's your head at, and what's the first thing that comes into your mind as you get into this final race?
Well, the goal will, of course, be Mike. I'm not sure what happened with Marlon this race. I don't think his pace was what it usually is. So yeah, but I'll be looking out for him as well, of course. But yeah, just gonna try to do my best out there.
Congratulations, good luck in the race 2. Mike Van Doorn, you finish in 2nd position. And by my calculations, as it stands right now, you are leading the championship by 2 points. So, what a race that was for you. How was it? Take us through it.
I mean, yeah, that's the best I could have got out of this, really. Yeah, nothing I could do to keep up with Mads with his straight line speed. So, just have to optimize what I can with this car, with the current BOP. Yeah, just got lucky. I got very lucky with Andy making that mistake with his pit stop, since my screen kind of went black on my in-lap and I lost around 2 to 3 seconds because of that. So yeah, I got very lucky with that, so hopefully that doesn't happen in the 2nd race.
Well, let's get your headspace in. You're now leading the championship, but you're going to be starting behind your championship rival. What's the game plan?
I mean, yeah, I just gotta stay out of any incidents and just try to stay as close behind him as I can if I cannot pass him. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't have to get past, I just need to stay right behind him.
Best of luck to you in the final race. Good luck, man. And P1. Congratulations, Mads. You enter now the winners list. Congratulations, first win on the board. How was that race for you, man?
I mean, you forgot again that I won before, so it's my second.
Have you? Is your second
Yeah.
race? It was your first or second race at the top of my head. But nonetheless, though, Mads, incredible effort. Such a dominant fashion from you. Take us through it.
Obviously, the first start completely fucked up my rev, so I didn't have any speed going into the first corner, and then whatever. And then the second one was a bit better, and like Mike said, a bit better straight line speed until the first corner, and then just managing my pace from there on.
Well,
Bit lonely, but that's okay.
race 2, what's on your mind here? You're the lightest car in the top 5, so what are you thinking?
Try to get past Mike and Andy, and then see where it goes from there.
Cannot wait to see what you can do. Congratulations on that P1, and good luck for race 2.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it here. We will see you for the final race. Thank you so much for tuning into race 1 of 2. And we're going to get started. 30 seconds. Tavar, Jaden, welcome into the chat there. Yeah, a lot happened. A lot of great battles. You can rewind the stream, but we're going to get 30 seconds here. Race 2. This is where the big stuff starts to happen. Coming up right now. And here we go for the final race of the championship. It all comes down to this. 5 lights on the board. We go racing for the final time at SUGO. Great start there from Marlon Young. Danny Nasir gets a bit of wheel spin there as they head into 1. Andy Reid's going to duck to the inside, side by side, door-to-door contact there between Van Dorn and Danny Nasir. Andy's able to go through. Young leads this race. From turn 2 there, side by side between Danny Nasir and Jaden Harrison. Danny's running backwards now as Mads, can he get up into 3 wide there onto the inside? Almost been a contact, just about lets out the way. It's very close, as we can also see Jaden Harrison trying to get through there onto the inside. Meanwhile, Andy Reid loses P2 against Van Dorn. And Marlon Young is going to run off the racing surface. Van Dorn getting soared to the lead, side by side. Marlon Young against the McLaren of Mike Van Dorn, heading into the braking zone. And watch Andy Reid in the background. He's gonna try to run through. Mike's runs deep. Through goes Andy. He gets Marlon Young there, and now he's going to go up against Van Dorn for this race win. Meanwhile, in the background, Krogsgaard, Marlon Young, side-by-side, door-to-door contact is made. Gonna send him off the track. Mercedes running off. Martin Webster also off the track. 3 wide and 1 10R. It can't work out.
Marlon, that was uncalled for, man.
No, that's not me. The car drag wide. I was starting full up.
Starting to apologize, but now we run up to the front there. Apologies there for the car in the front straight. Should be clear there. And now, as we get on to turn 2.
No dive bomb, Martin. Come on, man. Seriously. I told you no dive bomb. You still do it. Seriously.
And Danny Nasir audibly upset, not happy with a move like that there. And a yellow flag comes out for Martin Webster, and he's into the pits.
X-Play screwing up.
And Danny Nasir not happy with X-Play.
I can't drive this guy. So difficult.
And X-Play, are they out of this race already? Into this finale. And that takes Marlon Young out the championship indefinitely. He still qualifies for Race of Champions, but how close was that start? Meanwhile, Andy Reid, Mike Van Dorn, 1 chance to do it, but coming behind them, it's the 2 quick drivers. Mads, your last race winner, Jaden Harrison. Came into the server, just the last race, was not able to make the start, but we're gonna see if he can take a race win of his own here. As it stands, though, Van Dorn's gonna need a poor finish today if he is going to lose this championship, so it's gonna be all to lose here. But Van Dorn sets the fastest lap of the race, and Matt's gonna take it away. Jaden's gonna take that away from him. So 4 drivers going in it for the win. And this is going to be a hellacious fight here at Sportsland SUGO. A lot of curb there from Andy Rees. Cannot choke under pressure here. Sandwiched in this championship fight. If he can get past Mike Van Doorn, this would be very huge for this championship. Especially if Van Doorn runs down the order. Gaps all between the top 4 within a second. And there you see them. McLaren, Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes. 3 manufacturers all going for the top spot in this finale race of this championship. On board there with Jaden Harrison. And there you see Mads trying to hustle the car. Remember, he's the quicker one out the top 3. He proved it by extending a gap so huge. We got 20 minutes left to go in this grand finale. And this is really going to come down to it.
Yeah, Danny, I got hit by Bayado. That's right. That's Dino.
Yeah, you guys are 3 wide. Meanwhile, here comes Mads there. Can he pull a move around the outside? Onto the inside, though. And can he get the move done on his teammate? This would be very huge. Mads onto the outside. Andy to the inside. Covers off. Now Mads, can he get a move done throughout here? Has to back off as they get into this section here. That's really single file around. What do you do if you're Andy Rees? Do you give up the position to your teammate Mads to let him challenge Van Doorn, push him into a mistake? But then again, you're going to be losing a position at the end of the day. So much on the line here. What do you do? Do you be a team player with your teammate? Do you race against him? But here comes Mads there on the outside. What is he going to do here? Side by side, door to door action. Can he have the move this time? Not yet. As they battle, Van Doorn has extended the lead to a second. And what a fight this is. The early stages of this battle still commencing. 2/10 the difference between Mads as they now head on to 110R. They climb up the hill slowly, now onto the front straight, but look at the monstrous run that Krogsgaard gets. And he's gonna go side by side with Andy Rees. Don't forget about the Mercedes in the background of Jaden Harrison. Side by side into one. Can he sweep it around? Mads is gonna try to do it just about. He's gonna have the inside line as well. Gonna confirm the move. Yes, he is. Mads into second. But as they battle on, Mads defends the inside. Oh, and a little bit of contact there. Jaden just about gets onto the brakes. So this battle continues. That's what we love to see. Jaden Harrison gonna see if he can try to push it onto the inside. Nose to tail, 2 Mercedes together. Andy Rees on survival mode here. Desperation goes into the mind of Andy Rees. His championship slipping away as Van Doorn sails off to the distance. And here comes Harrison, the Jamaican now. On the outside, does he go for a move? No, backs out into the braking zone now. Shallow line for Andy Rees. He's going on to the inside, tries to hold it off. Just about. Great defense from him, but Harrison now is going to try to make this car wide as possible. He is going to be able to determine all the moves that Andy has to defend against. So it's going to give him a lot more quicker exits. But Andy into the gravel there as they enter 110R now. Could give a huge opportunity as they head onto the front straight. This would be huge if he can get this overtake done here is Jaden Harrison, because if he cannot, that'll be another lap sitting behind the Mercedes. But Andy Rees is gonna pitch him to the pit wall. Oh, so close it is. Door to door action between them. Who is gonna let go first? It's so close. They're like Beyblades on the front straight. Still contact, but Andy Rees is gonna have to relinquish the position. So hard of battling. Jaden, though, is gonna go through up into the podium. What a defense from Andy Rees. Rubbin is racing in these GT cars. Wow. Steven, you said it right. Jaden licking his lips. He was ready to pounce back at any moment, and he saw his move. But it's not over for Andy. Remember, this is still 17 minutes of racing. Cut tracks could still happen. So many things could transpire because now Mads is going to go under a second in the slipstream in the BMW against the McLaren. So now it's going to be an interesting dynamic. Remember, these two, flipped them over. That was your positions for race 1. Van Dorn second, Mads P1, but they never fought. Tavar calling out, is it for the win? Is Jaden going for, or is it for a P2? Well, as it stands right now, the BMW is a lot more quicker than the McLaren, but Van Dorn can easily defend here. And with the more defending you do, it's going to back them up as Andy Rees now enters the pits. Cannot afford another catastrophe that happened in the last race. What needs to happen in order for Jaden Harrison to catch back up and potentially win this race, all it has to happen is Van Dorn needs to put the greatest defense he can ever pull off, because at the end of the day, that BMW is quicker. Losing my voice, losing my breath in this final race. It's all so fitting. The final race before Race of Champions commences. 60 easy points for Mads. He's currently sitting at P5 in the standings with 58 points on the dot. The leaders are pretty quick. When Mads was able to get onto the slipstream, but now he's on the inside, dives it down, and Van Dorn wasn't even able to get a defense going. Mads up into the lead, trying to go for the final sweep here in this championship final round. Mike Van Dorn realizes that's the best he could have done, defending there. He's 6/10. All he could do now is try to hold on to the slipstream for dear life. Or is he going to enter the pits, though? Take a look at this. Mike Van Dorn is going to enter the pits here. And Jaden Harrison, so much speed. Did he hit the wall there? He did. Just about to slow down. Harrison hits the wall. Just about. But here we go. Pit stop battle between the Jamaican and the Dutch driver. This is going to be a big fight out of pit road. Meanwhile, Baiano's going to go through. Danny Nasir also enters the pit, so all of them at the same time entering the pit. So this is a very particular and curious strategy that these drivers are setting up. But as it stands right now, Mads is going to extend this advantage, holding on to the lead. But here we go. Out of the pits, they both come out at the same time, and they stay the same positions. It's all about how you exit this part of the track here as well. A little bit of curb there for Jaden Harrison coming out there. A little bit wide, but we're not going to worry about staying in between the white lines. Don't got to worry about it. Let these guys race out here. Interestingly, look at the top of your screens. Jaden did not repair the car. He's sticking it out there. Take a look at Van Dorn. How much damage does he have? Absolutely none. He's got a clean car on his hands. And take a look at this. Remember, Andy Rees made a pit stop early on. 2 laps before the drivers ahead of him did, and he is 2.1 behind them. This is effectively your battle for second place in the championship. Between the likes of Andy Rees and, well, the driver who's not here today, Cody Lawrence. But Jaden Harrison also behind him in 4th position in the championship. Look at the slide though from the McLaren just before they get on to 110R. A bit of a slide there from Jaden Harrison. Both of them pushing very hard, and I think the Mercedes has the legs to fight against Van Dorn. Here we go. Let the party commence here. In the slipstream, pick your poison. Does he go to the inside? Has to. Van Dorn not budging an inch. Hard onto the brakes. Was it too much? No, it was not. It's a perfect send. Van Dorn relegated down to P4. Jaden up into the podium, but when Baiano pits, it will allow both of them into the podium. What a fight it was, but Van Dorn's not quite over yet. He was the fastest in the first sector of this track. So he can fight, very much so. But with that slide just before they got into 110R, that was just about able to cook the tires enough to not give him the optimal grip he wanted to. He goes wide, gonna take a cut track for his liking or not. 5/10 the difference as they're on the back straight. And Mads, your race leader, now into the pits. And he's all by himself. Meanwhile, Andy Reid's 2 seconds dead. Trying desperately to close up, just about able to. When these two were overtaking each other. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. Baiano into the pits. But both of them slowly exiting out the pits. There is Mads. And you're going to look just at the back of your screen there. Where do you see those GT4s? There they are. They're racing onto the front straight. So pit exit for the Beamer. And you're going to see it coming around. There is your race leader. Pit stops are complete for these folks. I believe maybe the last one should be Danny Nasir, yet to make his pit stop. We're just going to double check that to make sure if I was correct. So Baiano and everybody, yeah, Danny Nasir already made his pit stop. Everybody has already made their pit stops early on in this race. That means 10 minutes of racing. Here we go. This is it. What a fight this has turned out to be. Jaden Harrison extending the gap and now on course to try to fight the BMW. Take a look at this weight standings. 5% restrictor, 16 kilograms. Reason why he's so light. The kilograms are represented by how many points you have scored throughout this race, and then it's divided by 3 to determine your restrictor plate percentage. Mads, on this case, only had 16 points going into today's race. Jaden Harrison, heavy contender for the championship, was not able to make the first race. He's sitting with 55 kilograms of weight and 18% restrictor. The McLaren had an automatic 40% added on because those cars are just way too quick. So to balance them out, they had taken an automatic 40% kilograms, but it still kept them very close, and the weights are still just as accurate between them. He takes 26% restrictor plate. Andy Reid's P4, 22% restrictor plate and 68 kilograms. You can see at the bottom of your screen for all these drivers we spectate here. Anderson with 4% restrictor, 12% kilograms. Danny Nasir, 6% restrictor, 59 kilograms. Remember, automatic 40 for the McLarens. Now, 9 minutes, 25 seconds to go. What does that mean in this race so far? Well, Jaden Harrison is now in P2. It's not a net P2, it's a confirmed P2. Mike Van Dorn is 3rd place. Behind him is his championship rival, Andy Reid. Let's take a look at those driver standings now, because right now, before positions in this race are taken into an account, we look at how the points stand regardless. Mike Van Dorn, 103 points. Cody Lawrence, 101. Andy Reid, 90 points. Jaden Harrison has 30 points to make up. He needs to win this race. But as it stands right now, 2.9 seconds. It's the battle between Cody Lawrence and Jaden Harrison. Jaden, though, 24-7. Mads, 24-4. So, very, very interesting dynamic of a battle that's going to take part here. But Jaden Harrison, 61 points. Cody, 40. Cody with 101. So, he needs all the points he can get here, Jaden, if he wants to qualify for Race of Champions. Meanwhile, though, as it stands, Van Dorn, 103. Andy, 90. What does that mean for the championship? Well, Van Dorn needs to drop down positions if Andy wants to win this championship. But he's 13 points down. The last thing he needs. I don't think any of them can gain the fastest lap point. Mads in the BMW has it locked down. So that's 100% going to be his. 8 of you watching the stream concurrent, thank you so much for tuning in this week to CMRSC. Next week out, we begin the final championship. It's the playoffs. It's Race of Champions. We got a trailer and a poster coming out, very hype, by the way, so stick around. As soon as we get those interviews done, we're heading right into the trailers. But in order for Andy to win this championship, realistically, to put it simply, Van Dorn needs a horrendous finish. He needs to finish outside the top 6. He needs to finish dead last. Anderson is going to make their life easier because I think he's a lap down already. So worst Van Dorn can do is finish 5th, or maybe have a technical issue leaving him out the race. Ooh, heard a little bit of gravel kicked up though. And yes, I did. The gap's down to 1.6 seconds. And these two are going to have a little battle coming down to the very end. Meanwhile, 2.9, 2.8 between Mats and Jaden. Both of them have been trading lap times. Should I say sector times, actually. Both of them trading sector times. So it's been very difficult for Jaden to keep up. Not one of them are consistently quicker than the other. There is also another bonus point, a bonus 5 points going to the driver who has finished all 5 rounds. Who does that go to? Well, that's going to be calculated later on. Nonetheless, though, we are at the final 6 minutes of this race. And we still got 2 great battles left to go. But 3 seconds between the top 2 drivers. Jaden Harrison's going to have a lot to pull off in this final under 6 minutes. 24.6 though. This is personal best. He's a 10th slower. Meanwhile, 1.4 against Andy Reese and Mike Van Dorn. And the Mercedes, is it running quicker? 25.2 for Andy Reese and then a 25.4 for the McLaren of Van Dorn. Andy's quicker. And he is pushing with all his might. Into the braking zone. There they go. And then into the left and right chicane. Use a little bit of curb. Remember, Andy Reese was able to overtake Marlon Young because he got a drive-through for cutting the track. Does not want to have that happen to him. Now, next question would be, what would happen if Van Dorn does take a drive-through penalty? Well, one thing's for sure, Baiano. Would he be able to catch up? Nah, he's a lap down. What it says on our screens. But meanwhile, the gap down 1.3 with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to go. So this is going to be it. 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Lap times 25.5, 25.4 from the Mercedes. Andy Reese inches closer in the gap. Slowly about to enter under a second with 4 minutes left to go. Andy having the race of his life. Trying to get a little bit into the gravel though, but trying so hard to get this podium position to tell everyone that he is not the driver that you're going to consider the loser at the end of this day. Both of these drivers, you got to consider winners. But as the championship stands, but Van Dorn makes a mistake, and that might be the ticket that Andy Reese needs. Too much curb from the Dutchman. You saw his car go on 2 wheels. The gap's going to run under a second. It's 9/10. And that's going to build more confidence for the Danish driver. When Van Dorn was 2/10 quicker this lap, Andy was able to pull it back. Can he get a miracle here at SUGO to show the world that he is that contender for Race of Champions? Both of these drivers, Mike Van Dorn and Andy Reese, you are going to see for the next 7 weeks straight fighting to be the champion of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club for 2024. And we're going to get a sneak peek of what that's going to be like. You're going to see the aliens. You're going to see Gabrielle, Luca Andretta, Alfie Bevan duking it out. Martin and Marlon are going to return in a more dominant fashion as they go on a tour. Every single championship gonna have one opportunity, from GT3, Formula 4, Ferrari Challenge, LMP2s, DTMs, Radicals, and GT4. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remain in the final race. Who is gonna take the final spot on the podium? Mike Van Dorn, Andy Reese. Both of them came into this championship fight with a chance at glory. Only one of them can come out on top. As it stands, though, while Van Dorn may be leading the championship, anything can still happen in the final 2 minutes of this race. Into the braking zone. 4 tenths under. Almost about 3 tenths are about hitting. Into the left-hander. Almost into the gravel. I don't think he did. Now 130. Or should I say 110R? 130R, that belongs to Suzuka. This is 110R. As the tires get so hot around here. But now, Andy Rees has climbed to the slipstream. Van Dorn realizes it and heads to defend. Andy Rees, does he go for the move early on? Hard into the brakes now, heading into one. Andy, does he see the move as Mike goes wide? Side by side temporarily. Van Dorn shuts the door. Andy Rees is going to come right back on him. A little bit into the gravel, though. Van Dorn onto the inside. Andy Rees is going to try to pull the switch around. Can't get it done. Have to be going single file through this section here. A lot of curb. Both of them going deep. Andy Rees now. Another chance if he can set up the back straight absolutely perfectly. Van Dorn holding on, though, for dear life. We should be getting the 2 to go. Might be a small chance. We might have 3 laps left in this race. On the back straight once again, Mike Van Dorn going for another defensive move. Stays to the outside, starts to drift on back into the racing line. It's only 1 move per driver. Into the defense now. Here comes Andy Rees taking it wide. And gonna swing it back around. And take a look at these two. Nose to tail in this final race. This is what Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club is all about. Racing to the very end. Racing to the checkered flag, no matter what position you put yourself into. In this case, it's the battle for 3rd position. Mike Van Dorn in the McLaren. Andy Rees in the Mercedes. It all rhymes as Van Dorn now going on to the inside, trying desperately to break the slipstream. 2 laps remaining here in this race. A little bit deep though goes Mike Van Dorn, and he's gonna try the move. He knows this is his best opportunity, side by side, but the McLaren's just about gonna soar ahead. But for how long? Van Dorn covers the inside, Andy Reid's gonna cover the outside. Switchback of dreams, side by side through this section. He got it done. Yes, he has. Andy Reid gets the move done. What a move through the section that only requires 1 car to go through. Andy says, scratch that, I'm creating history. Gets the move done. Both go deep. Both of them must have maximum cut tracks. Trying to break the slipstream. Steven Sugo, the home of crazy finishes. It's just tradition. I can't agree more. Look how close they're getting. Contact is made between the championship rivals. Having to hold up, and he's gonna go back through. What a fight this is. Both of them make contact. They know the rule. Having to let back through. They do. Battle continues. Not even a single word over the comms. And that's unmuted. Back on 110R. And the final lap for the race leader. 18 laps of succession now between these 2 drivers. Andy Rees gonna try to defend now. The slipstream, oh so close. We could see a photo finish here. I'm not betting on it. It'll be very difficult if they can both go side by side. But here comes Van Dorn. Outside maneuver. Can he get it done? Having to switch back here onto the inside. Now turning to the outside. They both snake each other through the line here. This is where Andy got it done. Is Mike gonna give him back his own medicine? Andy runs a little too deep. Andy goes a little way too deep. Loses the position. Mike back into 3rd. Loses it though. Here comes Andy. Side by side. Van Dorn. Contact once again. Andy goes through. I cannot believe it. What a fight we're getting. Andy Reid sails back through. An absolute barnstorm around here. Crowd's loving it. This is an incredible fight of this championship, and it's not quite over yet. But around 110R, around the final corner, Matt will take his 3rd career win at CMRSC. The final race win of the regular season goes to Matt. Jaden will finish 2nd, but it's this battle. 1 corner to go. slipstream to do it. Mike Van Doren, Andy Rees, they're gonna head out of the final corner. Slipstream engage. Does Mike have what it takes? I don't think so. The Mercedes of Andy Rees is going to hold on in the greatest event. Could be race of the year. I don't know. My voice is gone, but that race was goddamn freaking incredible. Andy Rees will take third position ahead of Mike Van Doren, but Van Doren is champion of the GT4 International Championship. You cannot write a script better than that. Hollywood, eat your heart out. That is close racing to the very end. Checkered flag is out. Van Doren's a champion once again. What a win. I can't believe it. Absolutely mind-boggling, and what a championship that was. Van Doren's done it. Nonetheless, if he was able to defeat Andy, which I know he wanted to, let him celebrate. It all belongs to him. This is Van Doren's moment. Celebrate it, my friend. You're a champion. What a fight we just had to the very end. Mike Van Doren, you are champion once again in CMRSC. Three-time Van Doren. How does it feel, man?
Yeah, this one's a bit better than the other two. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to finish the final race on the podium, but it is what it is. In the end, Andy somehow got the better of me. I don't know what happened there in the end, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot better this way of actually having somewhat of a fight for points. But yeah, I mean, somehow ended up in first after lap 1, and then Andy kind of lost himself a lot of time battling with Mads and Jaden. I mean, yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna get past those, wasn't gonna stay ahead of those two, so decided not to battle them, just let them go to minimize the time loss. But yeah, I mean, in the end, Andy still caught up to me because I made a few tiny mistakes, and then yeah, that was a nice battle at the end, but yeah, he got the better of me.
Well, nonetheless, though, at the end of the day, once all the dust has settled there, you do take the championship, and you're going to have your head very high coming into the playoffs. You already qualified back at the LMP2 Spec Series. But how does it feel that another championship for you comes down here at SUGO? Is this your new home?
I mean, yeah, I do like the track. I've been decent here in most races, so if not all, so yeah, I mean, wasn't able to show the full length of it with the amount of BOP that I had, but still made the most of it and still showed that I had pace nonetheless, so yeah, that's it's very nice.
Nonetheless, though, maybe a P4 here, and I know you would have loved to get Andy at the very end, but amazing racing from you there. Incredible stuff, good battling, congratulations. P4, but the championship belongs to you. And coming up, third position, Andy Rees. My goodness, you are trying to give us a heart attack here in the booth. Everyone was going insane, myself, the chat. That was the greatest battle I've ever seen. In all my years commentating, that right there is the greatest fight I've ever seen in sim racing history. Andy Rees, man. What a fight, and to come out in third position on top against Van Doren. How was that for you? Take us through your reaction. How are you even feeling?
I'm still shaking. I haven't recovered yet. Yeah, my heart was in my throat the last like 10 laps, 5 laps, whatever. Oh man, I have never experienced such intense racing ever in my life, I don't think. Absolutely just accelerating stuff. Yeah.
Take us through
Not
that
what
race,
I-
man. How was that?
Yeah, well, obviously I knew Matt and also Jaden. I also knew he had a pretty good pace. They would come up to me, and so they did one by one. And then I was left with, you know, a little distance up to Mike and also Jaden. And, you know, I thought that was where it was gonna end. But, yeah, just to try to push and, you know, I think our gap stayed pretty, like within like a couple tenths for like a lot of laps, to be honest. And yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect from my tires, you know, having pulled a pretty early pit stop trying to undercut Jaden, which totally didn't work. He had a huge gap on pit exit. I think my entry was probably kind of slow. But yeah, the tires, you know, overheating issues with this car have been that way for all the other races too. And, you know, pitting earlier means that I'm on older tires towards the end here. But yeah, still pulled through, and, you know, we ended up switching back and forth a couple times. And just, yeah, so intense. So just a blast.
Yeah, you're not gonna get better racing like that anywhere else. And you had a good workout as well. Burned a couple calories as well.
Yep.
Incredible, man. Congratulations on that third position, Andy. You're already set for Race of Champions. It's gonna be a hellacious battle, but we will find out after that one. You're able to take down one champion. Let's see how you do against the rest of them. Nonetheless, though, celebrate, man. You deserve it. Great P3 effort from you.
Yes, thank you.
P2. What a race it was for this man here. He came in a little bit late into the first race, but it was just enough warm-up to get himself prepared for this race too. And I'm talking about the Jamaican here, where the chat was absolutely loving him at the start of this one, chasing down Mads, Jaden Harrison. Jaden, that was an incredible race from you. The gaps were opened up towards the very end, but your battle was very eventful at the very beginning of this one, especially in that 4-car battle. Jaden, I'd love for you to take us through how was that race for you?
Yeah, I didn't expect to have that much pace today, but the car felt good. I saw Mads had some massive pace there with like the championship standings balance. It would have been rough, so I wanted to try work with Andy and move forward, like bump draft and try to get up to him, but he wasn't. He made a mistake and I had to just pass him and just go by. I almost sped in the pit. I went in too fast because I didn't get to do any pit practice, and I had to just send the car into the wall to slow the car down so I didn't get a penalty. So the whole of my last stint was just sliding and like drifting the car, trying to get it to turn with no aero. So it was a rough one, but after the tires died, I kind of just started to drop back, and yeah, it was a good race. It was fun.
Very fun indeed. It's a bit of a shame you did not get into that playoffs. Of course, we're going to still get calculations through. There may be a good chance that you have, so just stick with us after we get our trailers and done for the next championship through, and I will confirm with you if you did manage to qualify for Race of Champions. Overall, though, fantastic effort from you. Would have been awesome to see you in the first race. I know you just about forgot, maybe have slept in. I mean, flying over to Japan, you do get a bit of jet lag. So nonetheless, congratulations on that P2. Well deserved. And yeah, just great effort from you. Always love seeing you racing out here. And P1, this man, absolutely quick. No matter what position you put him in, just shoots up to the very top. Had a great fight in the beginning of this race and was able once again to dominate. 3 wins for you here now in CMRSC. And you, my friend, sweep. It's pole position, 2 race wins for Mads. Bro, that was incredible. Once again, you always just defy odds like it's nothing. What a race for you. Take us through it. I know it may have been boring towards the end, but that beginning phase was awesome from you.
Yeah, it was nice getting a double victory. Yeah, lap 1 was quite eventful, stressful too. So just tried to stay out of trouble. Had a slight touch with Danny. Nothing special. Had a bit of aero damage, but that's it. And then had a nice double overtake on Danny and I cannot remember who, but a nice double overtake. And then just trying to catch up with Andy and having a great battle with Andy. A lot of respect. No touches. Quite surprised. And then catching up to Mike, like he said. Felt like he let me by, like he said. So from there I'm just trying to manage my pace again. I could see Jaden was quite quick towards the end, so I tried to do my best. And then the last 3 laps I saw the gap was around 4 seconds, so I chilled it a tiny bit.
Nonetheless, though, that's a race win for you. It's a bit of a shame we didn't see you throughout this championship a little more. Who knows what you have done, what you would have done in this championship, but I think it'd be very nice to hear that you do finish in, I believe, a net 4th position before we get into fully final calculations. So if you are in that top 5 after being well outside the top 10, that should be lovely to take home with you.
Definitely. Did not expect that.
Indeed. Well, congratulations on the race win. Incredible effort from you.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it. But before we end off the stream here, we have one trailer here, one more championship. So let me tell you about it real quickly before we get into it. So the final championship of the year that we have coming up next is called Race of Champions. Picture this, every championship that we have done throughout the year meant something if you won it. If you won a championship, you get added to a list that we would come back to come the end of the year, and we've just about got to that time. So, championships complete here, and now we get into our playoffs. Every champion that we are now going to confirm here on our list, and that is going to include Luca Andretta, Alfie Bevan, Gabrielle, Andy Rees, Mike Van Doan, Marlon Young, Martin Webster, Khalil Rickford. And now, as we officially get the points now complete, it is going to be Cody Lawrence who will take the final points standing there, P3, but he's the only driver to have not taken that championship, with 2 previous champions taking it. So all these drivers will be in a separate category of points, while everyone else is free to join in racing to this championship. These select drivers will have one task to fight against each other, and that winner will determine our 2024 Caribbean Motor Racing Sim champion. So without further ado, we're going to get into the trailer now. I'm going to direct your attention to the stream directly after that. We have a wheel spin that will determine the next track that we do for the championship. More info is going to come right after this. I'm going to send the link back to the stream. Tune into it now if you already have it, and enjoy what we have. So, just before we end off today's broadcast, couple things we have to get through, and one of those things that we do, we have a trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time, 20 championships later, in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and we get to the playoffs. Enjoy.
Vettel v Bevan. Final corner to go. Hamilton, shades of him, shades of Lewis Hamilton. Gabriel is champion of the European continent. He wins it, but it's Andy Reid as he comes around the final corner. A rookie has won it. Mike Van Dorn is champion of the world. He wins it at Interlagos. Marlon's got it done. Marlon Young is champion because Khalil Rickford from Guyana is gonna take the victory and the championship.
Race of Champions. The final stage here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Ladies and gentlemen, round one, the GT World Challenge. The only rule is we cannot get Alton Park, we respin, but this will decide every track in this championship. First round, GT3 Racing will be at Donington Park. And that is going to do it for here at Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Next week, GT3 Racing at Donington Park, a classic track to get the action done there. Thank you so much for tuning in. What an incredible race that was. We come to the final chapter of the regular season, and now we have a championship. We are going to find out who is the best of the best. Next week out, the GT World Challenge. You're going to see the GT3s go at it at Donington Park for this first round. You do not want to miss it. Thank you for tuning in to today's stream. Have yourself a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. What a series it has been. Now coming to the end here. The playoffs and the real truth of who will be the best of the best now begin here today.
know you could, they want some more. Constantly combating conversations with connoisseurs. Cognac on deck, I'm on the night shift like the Commodore. 64 system outdated, so give this tone applause. The man of dinosaurs, they ain't dictating my future. I love the game, but everybody be rapping like Future. Medusa mind state, I turn you to stone. When I shoot a verse that will make you disperse. It's true to turn into the truth a long time ago. They don't wanna respect it, don't want to acknowledge the power shift. Ego, they protect it, but I will flow like electric. I'm gonna set this off, no apology. I move metric, them man still moving imperial. My tech, cause I'm moving hectic. Now everybody wanna talk about the top four. I'm not no number, but I know I'll be the top floor. And some brothers just be lying to themselves. So I'm airplane mode now, crushing on the top floor. No competition, competition is none. My composition's no comparison, reversing the wrong. The understated thing to stand alone, I stand on my words. My seconds be the hardest time, my best is still yet to come. It's mine. Overrated artists living off the hype. They got no longevity in the game, they got no stripes. No longer social in person, they live on social media. So social skills are not working because they live for likes. It's all a make-believe world, but they love living in a bubble. Stay scrolling and reading all the BS you type. Just for attention, a couple shares or a mention is meaningless, but it's like nobody wanna deal with real life. I spit that real life, say what's on my mind. I will not pander to the climate of the deaf, dumb and blind. Never dumbing down my bars, only realness in the lines. You will only hear the honesty and passion in my rhymes. I'm staying connected cause I perfected my art form. This show I directed, calm and collected, rated, respected, stayed on course and never deflected. Flow like electric,